Second half shill. Good start for the Padres over the Nats in D.C. to kick off this 10-game road trip. We'll see if the second half is deja vu all over again. Some good results around baseball. Very encouraging signs from Dylan Cease tonight. The Padres finally get their grand slam. 2 safety squeezes. Horrific base running from the Nationals and fielding, truthfully, as the Padres take game 1. There was some adversity there. The game was tied at one point in the 8th inning. Padres pull away late and win 7-2. So make your way in. We are back. The wrap-up show back with you here in the second half of the season. We're going to be with you from here on out. Trade deadline's coming in 13 days. You have to subscribe to this channel. We have to get to 9,000 subscribers, and we can only do it with your help. So let's get to 9,000 subscribers by the trade deadline. We have to get to 10,000 subscribers this season, so please subscribe. Year-round content for you. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. We appreciate your super chats. Click the $ below the chat box if you want to control the direction of the conversation. If you just want to support our work, they eventually, Jim, scored 7 runs in this game. We watched most of it. I think it was 1 or 2-0 when we left in the 7th or 8th inning. But Machado, the big blow, and Dylan Cease, the big story, I would say, as the Padres take game 1 in D.C.
You know what's funny is today on John and Jim, we were going through the last time they scored 7 runs as a team in a win. Just 7 runs in general, by the way. And it was the second week of June against the Dodgers. Ironically, it was at home against them, and Dylan Cease was also on the mound, I want to say. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think he was.
Is that the game that they ended up pitching Kike Hernandez?
Let me double check on this. So the last time they scored 7 runs in a win. No, sorry. Last time they scored 7 runs in a win was June 15th against Arizona. So
Gotcha.
My bad.
Yeah, that's what you said today. Yep.
Yeah. So they won 8-2. It was over a month ago. They haven't scored 7 runs or more since in a win. Scored 6 runs against the Nationals and they lost 10-6. But that 3-run homer by Tatis late made it seem better than it was. Offense, took advantage of an awful Nationals bullpen, but the story tonight was Dylan Cease. His road numbers have been awful. We've talked about it today on John and Jim. I put it out there on social media. And what did I tell you? Guaranteed. I guaranteed he would have a good start. Guaranteed. It's the Jim anti-reverse jinx that I put out. I didn't even realize it at the moment. Like, there's sometimes I'll put it out there and it doesn't work. But I just, as soon as I put that out there, he's 0-6 with a 6-something ERA on the road and almost a 1.4 whip. Of course, he goes out and goes 5 1/3 shutout innings, 10 strikeouts, no walks.
Yeah, I mean, we watched his entire outing. I mean, he was spectacular. And we'll see if that continues, would be my story. I mean, it's encouraging, but it is the Nationals, who are 21 games under 500. He has pitched well in that ballpark. I mean, he threw a no-hitter, literally, last July. So now it's got to continue, and hopefully it does in his next start, which will also be a road start. I think that when you look at the way in which they won this game, I mean, very losable, Jim. C.J. Abrams hits a 2-run home run later in the inning, 1st and 3rd, 2 outs, and Josh Bell, for the second time of the game, runs into an out. I mean, they cost themselves opportunities in this game. They had multiple run-scoring opportunities that they squandered. They also played poorly in the field. In this game, Washington, specifically in the infield. Padres executed, Washington didn't. That can be the difference between good and bad. I mean, 2 safety squeezes in one game for the Padres, to their credit. And then Josh Bell looking like he thought he was still in the All-Star break. I mean, that's kind of inexplicable stuff, but the Padres, as good teams should do, take advantage of other teams' miscues. And, I thought it was impressive the way they scratched across the 5 runs they scored there. I mean, they had to have a grand slam. Sooner rather than later, they needed to end that drought. They get the grand slam. It comes from Machado. You have the good vibes out of the second half. You see losses around the National League West and just the National League in general. When you look at the wild card race, I know it's early, but I want to say there's only 4 games of separation between the Padres and the Dodgers right now in the loss column. So, I mean, there's nothing to complain about. It's a good start. We know this team is going to make improvements, we think, in the next 10 or 12 days or whatever it's going to be. We know the Nationals aren't the Dodgers, or the best team in the National League, nor the Dodgers right now. But, it's a good start, right? This is what we asked for, and they start on the right foot.
4.5 back of L.A. right now.
4 in the loss column.
4 in the loss column. Dodgers are 2-8 in their last 10. I can't go there right now. I just can't.
No, not yet. Not yet.
But yeah, what the fuck was Josh Bell doing? That
The one in the 8th is crazy.
He takes off for a second, and then he like
Then he stops.
and then he goes again, and he stops again, and then Wandy Peralta's like, "What are you doing, bro?" And just like throws it over to Xander casually, and he's out by 5 feet. You're like, what? What the hell was that? And another thing, did he forget that Toddy was in right field? I mean, you
That
don't.
ball wasn't even hit that well. Yeah, the ball that he was thrown out on to Tatis was hit to like medium right. It wasn't hit to deep right. It was hit to Tatis, who came in a step to field. He was out comfortably because Tatis has as good of an arm as you're going to find.
If I was doing the Nationals wrap-up show tonight, I would be trying to DFA Josh Bell like on site because it was that bad. Now, thankfully, it was against the Padres, and it helped the Padres win this game ultimately, or it was a part of it. I don't think it was the reason why they won this game. Manny Machado hitting that grand slam, obviously, Dylan Cease, the way he pitched. But I mean, who knows if Josh Bell doesn't take off there, and gets doubled up at third by Tatis, and if he doesn't make that stupid base running mistake in the 8th inning, who knows what happens in this game? So thanks, Josh Bell, for being a moron.
Yeah, completely. But again, it's like, it's so funny how many times do we say that over the course of a season? It's like, it's the little things that are big. It's the major leagues. The margins aren't huge, but the difference in good and bad is sometimes bad baseball. It's like the Nationals self-inflicted themselves into a scenario where they left the door open for the Padres. And then the Padres capitalized. You felt good, 2-0 lead with this bullpen. And this is the formula we've talked about. You think the Padres are just going to win. They're just going to win the game 2-0. Or they're going to win the game 2-1.
I'm glad they didn't win 2-0 though.
What's that?
I said, I'm glad they didn't win 2-0.
Yeah, I agree. It's like sometimes you're going to have to do it differently. I completely agree with that. That's exactly where I was going with it. Sometimes you have to do it differently. It doesn't always follow a script. You can't ask your 4 relievers to be unscored upon every time they're on the mound. So the script flips. Abrams hits a ball out. It's a good offensive player. He's proven that. Then more adversity in the inning with first and third 2 outs. And then the Bell miscue, and then you capitalize in the 9th inning, specifically with Machado. So I'm completely with you. You don't use Suarez today because you get the 5-run lead there in the 9th inning, which I think is advantageous moving into game 2 of this series. And I keep going back to this. It's the second half of the year. It's more of a sprint. There's 65 games remaining. Mike Schultz's winning percentage, they put it up on screen today, is the second best in baseball in a second half behind Dave Roberts among managers. I mean, his winning percentage is incredible in the second half. It really is. And I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I have no idea, Jim. We've talked about August. It's tough. They're dealing with all kinds of things right now. The Kings situation, we'll see about Darvish's health moving forward, this offense, trade deadline coming up. It's one game, but it's encouraging to start the second half. It opens up the door to, 5-6 wins on the road trip by winning game 1. That's what I would always say. Now, they lost game 1 last year. We probably freaked out. They were 50-50, and they started going. So it is only one game, and the opposite can happen if they lose a couple of games. But I thought it was encouraging to see a team play like that out of the gates in the second half.
I thought it was encouraging too. I was fully preparing to come on tonight and be like, that was a good win, but man, this offense is just, struggle bus every single time out. It still is. I'm not saying that everything's fixed because they put a 5 spot there up in the 9th inning. That's an inning, a crooked inning that they've been missing for sure. Obviously, the first grand slam of the year. There's still some things they have to work on offensively, but it was a step in the right direction. And hopefully this gives this team the confidence going forward here where they don't have to wait until the 9th inning to put up a 5 spot, that they can put up a 5 spot like in the 2nd inning or the 3rd inning, against an actual starter. And I'm, it'd be kind of bad if the Nationals bullpen came in and like shut down the Padres because their bullpen is the worst in the sport. So it's nice to know that they can still hit AAA pitching,
Yeah, I mean, who they hit there in the 9th is their one good reliever who blew up there in Kyle Finnegan. But I agree with you. It's like the questions remain. And they use like 10 relievers tonight, by the way. The Nationals, the way they tried to maneuver their way through this game. One game doesn't answer questions on the Padres offense, obviously, against the Nationals bullpen. Like Mike Soroka is not a good starting pitcher, and he looked good tonight against the Padres. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. You know, I don't know if Machado's carried this team. That I know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can the rest follow suit? You know, can Tatis, Arise, Merrill follow suit? That's what we're all asking for. I mean, the rest is kind of gravy. If Bogarts keeps hitting like this, that's gravy. If Gavin Sheets puts together a second half like the first half, that's gravy. But let's see Toddy, Machado, Merrill lead the way. And Machado's done his part, man. I mean, he has done his part. We've said it. Even during his struggles, we've said it. Like, listen, man, give the guy some slack. Over 97 games, the guy has done his part. Now other guys got to do their part. And I think that's completely fair and reasonable. And we'll see if it happens or not.
Manny this year so far is hitting 290, 18 homers, 60 RBIs, and an 844 OPS.
Awesome, solid year.
Just
for 30 home runs and 100 RBIs.
100%. That's just as solid as it comes. Just a really good season. Xander has turned his season around. He's never going to be a guy that's going to have 90 RBIs in a season or hit 25 bombs, but if he can hit you 270 to 280 with a 700, 720 OPS, you'll have to take that because that's kind of who he is. He's not going to be something that we all thought he was going to be and what the Padres thought that he was going to be when they signed him. The expectations for Xander are different. And right now he's exceeding or meeting those new expectations of what he is. He's a singles hitter that has occasional pop, won't drive in a bunch of runs, and he won't hit for any power. But he gets on base and he plays, solid defense. He plays average to a slightly above average defense at short. He makes all the plays.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, it's hard to ask for more than him getting on base. I mean, if you were getting greedy, you'd ask for more. You'd like to see some power from Bogarts. Like even his double today, I think was just kind of a duck snort down the right field line that he was able to get to second on. So he hasn't hit for any power and he hasn't driven in any runs. And we've long detailed his struggles with runners in scoring position, but he is now getting on base,
right?
Which I think hopefully pays dividends. How can it not? Yeah. But yeah, he's never going to be Boston Xander, but I'll take what he's been over the last month, truthfully, for the next 2 months for the Padres. I mean, I also think that, I'm starting to look at standings a little more. I'm not talking about with the Dodgers and the Padres, but just in general, like, Giants lose. You look at the wild card race. Padres are well positioned, better positioned than they were a year ago today. Of course, now they start taking off a year ago today, and they put themselves in that 93 win category with the way they played in the second half. But I guess my point is it doesn't feel like they have to do much. It just feels like they got to keep doing what they're doing. 6-4 over 10 games, avoid a 2-8 stretch. You can go 5-5 somewhere in there. I think we said today, I mean, you're probably 1-10-4 stretch away from kind of not punching a ticket, but feeling really good about your chances to make the postseason. But based on where they are right now, I'm not worried. I'm not saying they're a lock for the postseason, but I don't think there's any reason for concern. Keep doing what you're doing. Get healthier. Get King back. Make an upgrade or two at the deadline and kind of trust the process. And I think they'll have hopefully what it takes to get to the postseason. And 53-44 is a good record for this point in the season is what I would say.
And I look at the 90 win mark for this team as kind of...
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
But you're not muted.
I'm not muted.
Can everyone hear Jim or no?
Chat, can you hear me? I didn't touch anything. And I see I'm not muted. Chat, can you hear me? Did your earbuds go out? Yeah, everyone can hear me. You got me? What?
I'm going to kill StreamYard.
What's happening over there? Is your headset messed up? Oh boy, John's gonna to break his computer. John might break his computer. What I was saying, can you hear me now? You're gonna have to restart, dude.
It's not. What am I supposed to read your lips?
We put in the chat here. Hold on. Refresh your page.
Like, I'm switching software. This company sucks. Use that StreamYard in your next promo. You can hear me, presumably. Refresh
You know what I
your
guarantee?
page.
You know what I guarantee it is, chat. His either headphones don't work anymore, or he pushed the wrong button, or something. It's to me, it's probably user error on this one. But what I was saying before John's computer crashed out on him was now going forward. I look at 90 wins as the total you got to get to feel pretty comfortable making the postseason. 90 wins was the total last year to get in. And when you look at the last 4 seasons, every team that's won 90 games in the National League has made the postseason. There hasn't been a season where it's like if you win 90 games, you don't make it. 90 wins, you're in. We've had a couple 84 win teams make it, 86 win teams make it. But if you win 90 games, you're in the postseason. No team in the new playoff format has won 90 games and missed the postseason in the National League. You've had a couple 89 win teams, here and there, but 90 wins is the mark. So going forward, that's the number I'm looking at. You can't hear me still, huh?
I can hear you. But now I can't use my freaking camera, and I'm back in Chrome. I was in Firefox. I all of a sudden I could go back in Firefox, but I don't freaking care. Like this software, dude.
What about your microphone?
Is that messed up? I can change that. What about now?
No.
Won't change. Hold on. I'll be back.
Oh, jeez.
This is unbelievable, dude.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so what I was saying is that 90 win mark, they got to get there. I know it. Anyway, so they got to go 37-28 the remainder of the way. 37-28. Okay, play 9 games above 500. They're already 9 games above 500 right now. Can they do that for the rest of the season? Can they play 9 games over 500 the rest of the way? If you believe in second half Schulte, then you, I think, can believe and feel like that they can do that.
How about my mic now?
Yay!
I'm like emailing this company.
Do it.
I'm going to say, give us our mother effing money back.
Are you on Firefox?
Hold on. I'm going to Instalink. Yeah, I'm on Firefox. Hold on.
I don't get it. It works on my computer. I use Chrome on my computer.
You've seen me though in the office.
I know it just doesn't let you change software. Maybe.
Yeah.
Have you updated your computer?
Helicopter outside.
Have you updated your computer, like the software update or something?
I don't freaking know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Maybe you need to do a software update.
Maybe. Yeah. I'll look into that after.
Or once this is over, there's probably like a help center or like a whatever, and just like tell them to go.
There's no help center.
F themselves.
There's no. Unfortunately, I'm on a life raft. There's no help. I said need help, and there's no help. It's like, oh, is your audio and video not working? Yeah, we've been experiencing issues. Awesome.
Great. No shit.
All right. Let's get to the first super of the night. Guys, if you are here, please subscribe. You're on content for you. As long as StreamYard continues to exist, we'll continue to have this show. If they go under, it's been fun. But thank you for your support of this channel. Let's get to 9,000 subscribers with your help. And thank you for the super chats. This is the first of the night, in fact, from MBs. If you support this channel, please consider a super chat by clicking the $sign below the chat box. If you want to control the direction of the conversation, click that $sign below the chat box. We'll get to all of these supers on screen here tonight, like this one from NBs, who says, we need to take advantage of the next 5 games before going to St. Louis. 2 or better in St. Louis is what we need to keep pace. And we did the math today where we're like 2-1 in DC, 2-1 in Miami, 2-2 in St. Louis, and that's kind of like the homestand they just had. And you're 6-4. So yeah. I think that would work.
6-4, and you are 10 games above 500 coming home. Right?
That's
Yep.
right.
And then you go 2-1 against the Mets before the trade deadline, and you're now 11 games over 500. I want to say that they were 11 games over 500 at the trade deadline last year. Let me just check on that. So last year at the trade deadline, they were 59-51, John. They were 59-51 at the trade deadline. And then they lost the first game after the trade deadline. So they were 59-52 last year on August 2nd. They're already pacing to be better than that going into the trade deadline this year.
Right.
And so they won't have to go 43-19. They don't have to have some incredible second half run. They just have to go, like I said, 37-28 now, the remainder of the year, and you're at 90 wins. And if you're better, that's great. But looking at the wild card, and since it expanded to, that extra wild card team, no team in the National League has won 90 games in this new expanded wild card era in the National League and missed the postseason.
Yeah, I'd feel confident at 90. I'm not sitting here right now being like, man, if they get to 90, what if they get past and they're on the outside looking in? I mean, my goal, to your point, is to, if I'm Mike Schill, it's like I'm circling 90 and saying if we get to that threshold, we have a very good chance of being in the postseason. And I think that's true. Because here's what's going to happen. There's a team in there falling off. I don't know who it is. It could be any of them. But someone won't play as well in the second half as they played in the first, whether that's St. Louis, whether it's San Diego, whether it's San Francisco. I mean, someone's not playing as well. That's how this sport works. Someone will have a tougher schedule. Someone will deal with injuries. So under that assumption, if the Padres get to 90 wins, I think they'll be in by 2 games, 3 games. Like there's a good scenario because, like, didn't Kevin say today there was a year where Arizona was in with 84 wins, and there was also last year when you needed something like 90 wins to get in. So I agree with you. I think 90 is what you should be aiming for if you're the Padres, front office and coaching staff.
100%. 100%. 90 wins is, like, to me, almost like a lock to make the postseason.
Yeah,
I feel really good with this team.
All right, we're going to get back to the conversation. But I do want to thank our title sponsor here on the Wrap-Up Show, our friend Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. If you support this channel, please support Mark. He has been with us since day one, 4 years of the Wrap-Up Show. Mark has been with us since day one. If you have any insurance need, trust me, he's going to take care of you. Trust us. I've got homeowners, life, and earthquake insurance through Mark. Had to file a claim in 2022. He saved us thousands of dollars and probably 100 hours of time, probably more than that, truthfully. So he's just a great insurance agent with great service and communication. He's a lifelong Padres fan. He's a native San Diegan. Click the link in the description down below. You'll get to his website, which you see on screen right now. Get free quotes or call Mark. He'll talk to you about the Padres. He'll talk to you about saving money on your insurance. Before you renew your current policy, get in contact with Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance.
Yep. Noel's information is on that ticker below, mnimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap-Up Show sent you.
Well, you guys haven't seen the card?
Oh, show the card. Where's the card at?
This show's already such a shit show. Stand by. I'll go get it.
So if you don't know the story, just go to our Instagram account at John and Jim. Posted the video there. We found this lucky box in Las Vegas, right across the street from Circa. There's 7 in Las Vegas, and there's, I want to say, 23 or 24 in the United States. And the concept is, I mean, it's cool. It's like hidden treasures, and you go and you either buy a signed jersey, a Pokemon card, or a sports card. And some cards are not as good, and then there's cards in there that are really good, and then there's cards in there that are potentially worth thousands of dollars. So of course we had to do it, and John got a signed Fernando Tatis Jr. Auto 10 card, which is pretty dope. Considering we do this show every single freaking night, and our show in the afternoons on San Diego Sports 760. So it was a pretty awesome pull, because I've seen some pulls from the exact location that we did, and someone pulled today like an Aaron Judge CGC 10 card that's worth like $15. Right now, this card isn't worth like thousands of dollars, but it's still an autograph auto 10 Tatis card that's worth over $100, and it's gonna go up too if over time. So
I think
it was a cool
I showed
pull.
this the other day, which is my buddy who I used to work with in the minor league sent me this out of 10 Tatis card, which was super cool. And we decided it might be worth like $300 or $400, which was super cool. And then I heard everything Jim said as I went up into my closet and got this thing. So this comes out of the vending machine. And again, like to our surprise, it could have been anything. And it's probably worth what I paid for, which is still cool because I was so pumped that it was a Padres card. And then boom,
Dude.
Toddy. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, I was pumped about it. I mean, I love Fernando Tatis Jr. You guys have heard me say that before. I mean, to get a Tatis card out of a vending machine, it could have been like the running back for the Colts. That could have been any sport. I mean, it could have been Bronny, which is fine, but I would have preferred a Padre, and boom, there was a Padre.
Like the card itself isn't worth a couple bucks, but the autograph with it, that's a auto 10.
Yeah.
Which is what it was graded. If the card was graded, it would have been like a 7 or an 8.
Right.
But the auto, it was what was graded on it, and it was a 10. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I was super pumped. Listen, I can't guarantee this, but we'll see what happens with Lucky Box because we might be able to work with them for our viewers. And what I mean by that is hopefully you'll be able to take advantage of potentially an offer. But listen, how many San Diegans go to Vegas? Everyone, right? Every San Diegan goes to Vegas. And they're in other cities as well. They're like in airports, but in Vegas specifically, they're in like resorts and casinos. And I'm with you, Johnny. I thought the same thing when I got that. I'm like, that's a good sign. I'm like, to get a Padre out of this thing and for it to be Fernando, it's not like, with all due respect to like Jay Cronenworth, I'd prefer like a Fernando Tatis Jr. card. Like there's a couple of players you're thinking about.
You didn't go to a card shop and buy this card and look at it for like 20 minutes before committing to buying it. This was a complete luck of the draw,
Right. Exactly. And people, to the point where today, even one of our bosses in the office, Mike, was like, you couldn't have like fixed it, right? He's like, I know you didn't. I'm like, what? No, what do you mean fix it? You watch the video. The thing comes out of the machine. I open it up and there's Fernando Tatis, potentially. And hopefully an opportunity for our viewers to take advantage of like an offer through them. Truthfully, that would be the goal. I'm with you, Rocket. Yeah.
So now you just got like a bunch of, I mean, you got the two Tatis cards there, right?
Yeah, I have 3 because I jinxed them earlier in the year with my first one. I forgot what the first one was.
The first one was
rookie.
Was it a PSA?
Yeah, I think a PSA 10 like base Tatis rookie.
So you got 3 Tatis cards, one of them signed.
Yeah, and then this I really like, just how it shines.
So you got 3 cards that might be worth a total of like $400 to $500.
Yeah.
All together.
I'm starting this collection, man. As you know,
just starting the Tatis collection.
Yeah, I appreciate Alejandro you asking though about it. Ballpark Pretzel, what's going on, man? He says, where are the Seattle and Tampa Bay gray tops for the All-Star game?
Huh?
Follow up, Ballpark Pretzel in the chat. We'll pull it up if you want to. Yeah, I'm not certain.
Oh, I get it. Because Seattle and Tampa both wear their alternate blues for the All-Star game. I remember.
Oh.
Tampa wore their blue tops, and then Seattle, like Cal Raleigh, wore his blue top.
Is that technically their alternate, or is it technically their road?
I like the blue Mariners road top.
Yeah, no problem. We watched that game. I had no problem with that.
Everything was aesthetically perfect in the All-Star game. Like the look of everything, the jerseys, everything was perfect.
I completely agree. And it ended up being a good game with the way it wrapped up. I don't even know if we talked about it on the wrap-up show or not. Probably not. But, I mean, we had this whole conversation. I don't know if it's necessarily for now. I mean, it was fun. Everyone watched. Now that we're a few days removed from it, Jim, I'm even further digging in on we don't need the swing off in regular season games. I mean, come on. Now we're back to business. We're back to baseball.
Come on.
It's cute. I had no issue with it. I liked it. But it's an all-star game. It's not a Major League Baseball regular season game. That's fine. But I don't need it tonight. I don't need to swing off tonight. I just need to see the Padres win tonight. And that's what they
100%. Did. Yeah, I don't need any of that either. It's only meant for like an all-star game. It's
Yeah.
Savannah banana-like, and it's great for a game that doesn't matter.
100%. 100%. What was I going to say? I had something I wanted to say. Oh, I know what I was going to say because we talked to Kevin Acey today on John and Jim. I don't know if you guys
Interesting
saw
things
what
by Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things. He wrote something today that is something he's told us over the last, I would say, honestly, like 3 weeks, which is I think he's kind of tempering expectations at the trade deadline, saying there's no guarantee of how much money the Padres have. Their system isn't completely stocked with talent outside of DeVries and Salas. I think people would agree with that. And also, there's not a lot of readily available major league players on their roster that seem like easy turnkey players to move because you're not trying to move players that are helping you. And who are you really offloading? And what's the reason for offloading? Right? There's all kinds of conversations. You could have a rise. You could talk Suarez. I mean, you could have conversations about a few guys, but how much of it really makes sense if you're AJ Preller? So I guess on one hand, AC is tempering expectations, and there's reasons to do it. I think those reasons are all good. And then on the other hand, you have AJ Preller, who is still the general manager of the Padres and is still creative and a bit of a X factor or a wild card. So I don't know. I mean, what are you expecting over the next 12 days?
I'm not expecting fireworks, but I'm expecting multiple moves. I'm expecting 2 bats and maybe a pitcher. That's what I'm expecting. I don't know if it's going to be a starter or a reliever. I'm just going to say pitcher, right? So that's what I'm expecting. I would be surprised if it's just a one move at the deadline for AJ. He's going to do something. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you he will make a trade. I just don't know. I just don't know for how many players or for who, but I know that he loves Jarren Duran. He's enamored with Jarren Duran. My worry with Jarren Duran is the fit and also how much you'd have to give up for him. And how would that hinder you from making other moves as well? Because if the only move at the deadline is Jarren Duran, okay, I still think they would need more. And then if they didn't, if they just made Jarren Duran and that's the only move at the deadline, then it's like, okay, AJ's probably sitting there and thinking to himself, the guys that we have need to be better. And so then it puts pressure on everyone else to be better. And that could happen, but you're running the risk that it might not.
Yeah, that's well said. I tend to agree with you. 2 bats, 1 pitcher to me seems realistic. We should note, because I think it was Ken Rosenthal that wrote that if there's a team to kind of take a flyer on a player like Luis Robert Jr., it could be the Padres. We should note today, 2 for 2, 2 walks, a homer, 3-run scored, a ridiculous diving catch in center field in his last 7 games. I know it's small. He has hit 333. So now he's only hit 196 on the year. We've talked about that. So he has struggled mightily, to put it lightly. But what Ken wrote was that the White Sox may be willing to absorb salary. They may be willing to take a lesser return. So all of those things being equal, it's an interesting conversation. Again, I don't think he's your saving grace. And all of a sudden everything changes when he gets here because it's a winning team and a better organization. I can't say that. But the fact that he's under control for multiple years after this year as well, he would come for way less, is the point, than Jarren Duran. It's a name I'm going to be keeping an eye on, certainly over the next 10 days. I don't know if it's as sexy as Jarren Duran. I think Duran's going to give you the immediate productivity where Robert may or may not. But I feel like there's a real upside with Luis Robert based on what he did a couple of years ago, hitting 38 home runs.
What would you rather have? And I think I know the answer for this for everybody. Jarren Duran, and that's it at the deadline because you had to use so much to get him? Or Luis Robert Jr., Adolis Garcia, and a reliever?
I prefer the latter, obviously. And listen, it's not Duran might be the best player of the 4 you just mentioned, like in that hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
But he also is a left-handed batter. Robert's a right-handed batter. There's some Not that that's the end all be all. That's not the. But it's not like Jarren Duran is having a 2024 Jarren Duran year. He's not going to be a 9-WAR player. He's going to be like you tell me, a 3.5 WAR player.
How about
Whatever it's
this?
going to be.
Because Kevin mentioned this to us today, and we're like, "What? How about this?"
Yeah.
Sean Murphy, Luis Robert Jr., and a reliever, but you have to give up Jake Cronenworth.
Right. He didn't say that specific way, but he said, yeah, would they consider? And he was hypothetically speaking, would they consider moving Jake Cronenworth, freeing up money, allowing you to do some additional work potentially if you're Preller?
Because if you traded for Sean Murphy, you'd need to take on that contract, and you need to figure out how to make that work.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd need to offload. So you're upgrading at your catcher position, probably the biggest upgrade in baseball if you did that. You're getting a right-handed bat in Luis Robert Jr., who's been much better of late, and a bullpen arm that, AJ Preller's been really good at finding over his career tenure as a Padres GM. But the caveat is the prospects you trade away. I mean, who cares as long as it's not DeVries and Salas, and it wouldn't be. But you got to give up Croney. I don't know where he would go, but you give up Jake Cronenworth. Would you do it?
I mean, here's the thing. Jake Cronenworth has been a good player, at times a very good player, and is having a good year. And it's not to take away from Jake, but you got to look at your team and say, what makes my team better?
Yeah.
You could navigate your way through it on the infield with Luis Ariz, with Gavin Sheets, potentially, right? Second and first. And you could argue that you're a more complete lineup. Now, that might be contingent on Luis Robert Jr. doing something. Like, he would have to do something. He can't hit 196 for 60 games. But if he hit 266 and Sean Murphy looked like Sean Murphy, and you added another dynamite bullpen piece, which they did last year, and AJ Preller's done a nice job of, obviously, throughout his career, I could easily make the argument that I'm better off. You're freeing up a lot of money, not crazy money, but a good amount of money that you would need in that Murphy equation, like you just said. And here's the other thing with Cronenworth. He's not getting younger. He's not old, but he's not getting younger. And, there's reasons to believe you're not getting real production from him. The second to last and last year of that deal will be 34 and 35 or 35 and 36. So I'm not saying you have to do it now, but you would be selling high. And he's a good player, but not a great player. I think we all agree on that. And I do think his production can be made up, especially when you're adding multiple pieces to make up for one lost piece.
Because in that hypothetical scenario, and I don't know if I would be for it, it's tempting. It's very tempting to consider if that were what was going to happen. And I think this is how I would make the team if that were to happen. I would keep Ariz at first, and I would have Iglesias at second, Xander at short, Manny at third, Sean Murphy behind the plate. I'd keep Gavin Sheets in left field because I think he's perfectly fine out there in left. I would keep Merrill in center, Tatis in right, and I have Luis Robert Jr. as your DH.
I mean, are we DHing Luis Robert Jr. when he's making the best catch in baseball history tonight?
Well, he's also only played center field in his career.
But if you can play center field, you can play left field, right?
I get it.
Sure. But I get your point. I mean, I think it gives them some flex. Listen, what lineup is better? A lineup with Murphy and Robert Jr. or the lineup without Murphy and Robert Jr. but has Jake Cronenworth? It's easy to say the lineup where you have the two additions, unless Robert's a complete black hole.
Like, is the lineup better with Jarren Duran in it, but also still Maldonado and Diaz and, or is the lineup better without Jake, but you add Sean Murphy and Luis Robert Jr. to it? And you're taking away Diaz.
Yeah, I mean,
or in Maldonado.
T. Kelly here. I mean, T. Kelly's right. This would not be well received, dependent on return. I think the immediate reaction is it wouldn't be well received. And I completely respect that vantage point and opinion. But I will say, from the organization perspective, it's what makes us better. Mm-hmm. It's not really about retaining fan favorites. He's had a good year. I mean, it's not because I don't like Jake or you don't like Jake or Kevin doesn't. It has nothing to do with that. It's what makes the team better. or what gives them an opportunity to potentially be better off.
And
But I think the point's valid. Of course, there'd be a little bit of like confusion if you traded away Jake Cronenworth. But then again, you'd need to hear how it all finishes up.
right.
Yeah,
And
that's my point.
And the reason why they would potentially have to deal a Jake Cronenworth is not because they don't like Jake Cronenworth. It's because they need to figure out a way to free up some money for AJ to make some moves to fill some necessary holes on this team. And now you might be thinking, well, if you trade Jake, then you have another hole there. I would agree with that. Yeah. But to me, the catching position and a right-handed bat outweighs, that other hole that you'd create with Jake. It's like, all right, they got two big holes on their team. Would you agree right now? Their DH spot, their catching position.
Yeah, exactly.
They would trade Jake Cronenworth to free up the money to get, and these are just hypotheticals, like Sean Murphy and Luis Robert Jr. Now, instead of two holes, you only got one. As that second. But defensively, you're not losing anything. You're maybe upgrading with Jose Iglesias, and he's a veteran hitter. I know he's having an awful year, but maybe if you gave him more playing time, he would do better because he was really good last year for the Mets. But you're upgrading your catcher position, and you're buying low on a right-handed bat in Luis Robert Jr., who could maybe turn into something like he was a couple years ago. Who knows? He's been hot recently. I don't know. Does that make your lineup better? I could argue yes, but here's the options, right? To free up money on this team. Trade Jake Cronenworth, you trade Luis Ariz, or you trade a combination of Robert Suarez or Adrian Morejon. What are you choosing?
Morejon's untouchable for me.
I know.
Okay. Suarez is not untouchable for me. Luis Ariz would not be untouchable for me.
We won't get as much back from him.
Yeah, right. And Jake Cronenworth would not be untouchable for me. So that's the only untouchable in the four you mentioned would be Adrian Morejon. That's not to say they should or will move any. But in terms of untouchable players, Adrian Morejon would be on my list for the Padres right now. But I mean, Robert Suarez, there's detractors. There's some good, there's some bad. I mean, he can be more than effective. He also can be inconsistent and hit hard. And he makes a lot of money. And he's old.
Yeah.
And there's reasons to believe he won't be here after this year anyway. And then same thing with Ariz. He's not going to be here after this year. And he hasn't had the same season he had the last 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or whatever it is. And then Cronenworth, you're selling a little high and you're freeing up salary. Maybe the return's real. Kevin said there's crazy interest in Jake Cronenworth. Well, if there's crazy interest, then I wonder what kind of return there might be in store on a player that's under control for controllable dollars.
Because you guys got to remember here, this is not as easy as just go trade some prospects to add more money to this payroll and to this roster. Like what we've been hearing constantly is AJ's got to get creative. AJ's got to get creative. What's more creative than what we're talking about right now to free up some money to bring back some players that are making money that would, be upgrades in definite areas of upgrade.
I think we'll see true creativity. I don't think we'll see that straight normal, oh, they acquired a middle reliever and they acquired a catcher. I think the way in which they do it will be somewhat unique and will speak to the Padres' John Seidler era. If you think about some of these deals, Nick Pavetta's is making like $1 million until the season ends. Right. Michael King's arbitration deal. There's some weirdness. Remember some of these deals that happened this offseason. They didn't sign Kyle Higashioka, right? Like, just think about their offseason. It's not to say they can't take on money. Like the Sunrisers super chat here. And guys, over here, subscribe. Over 300 of you are here right now. Please subscribe. We want to get to 9,000 subscribers by the trade deadline with your help. And thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. And he's saying free up money with all the sellouts to new ownership say cut payroll. We haven't heard that. We haven't heard that they need to cut payroll, but we also haven't heard they have an interest in adding payroll either. I think that's Kevin's point. Can they add $1 million? I'm sure they can, Jim. But can they add 5, 7, 9 this year and then take on 10, 15, 20? Remember, Luis Robert Jr. is owed 20 next year. Now, maybe the White Sox pay it down. Sean Murphy's owed 15 next year. So it's not that they're freeing up money, but can they take on that's real money if you're adding 15 or 20 million to your payroll before you get into the offseason.
Now, Kevin did tell us that he hasn't heard one thing mentioned about Sean Murphy. Maybe there's a reason why, or truly they're just not interested in acquiring Sean Murphy at that price. Or maybe the Braves aren't even willing to trade Sean Murphy. Who knows? They're having a bad year. Maybe they're just like, yeah, we're gonna make a couple moves. We're not gonna go full, sell mode here. Yeah, I'm it basically, to put a bow on this, expect anything to happen at the deadline with AJ Preller. It won't be a just straight line. This thing could go sideways quickly.
By the way, 52 votes in 3 minutes, and 52% of viewers right now would be okay with trading Jay Cronenworth. No caveats there. Just would you be okay with trading him, not knowing what the other side looks like? 52% of the 53 voters in the first 4 minutes have said yes, they would be okay with it. Guys, when the Padres get back home, which is about a week or so away later this month, make sure to use SeatGeek and get out to Petco Park, and make sure to use the promo code that we have for our viewers right now, PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. You're getting $20 off your tickets at SeatGeek. Your order of $50 or more. That's $20 off your first purchase of $50 or more with promo code PADSWRAP. Just click that link in the description down below. Download the app, have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. We do want to thank our friends over at SeatGeek. A reminder, it's not just Padres tickets with SeatGeek. It could be the upcoming Breeders' Cup or concerts or Aztec football and basketball or anything. It doesn't have to be in Southern California or in San Diego, but take advantage of that promo code. Get $20 off your first purchase of $50 or more. Use the promo code PADSWRAP.
Yeah, if you see right there, now if you're going to Washington, or if you're in Washington right now and you're watching us, and you're watching this on replay, you can get a seat behind the first base dugout for $50. Use our promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. You get $20 off there, your first order. Boom, you're in for $30 behind the first base dugout. So if you want to go, make sure you use our promo code. SeatGeek is the MLB's official ticket marketplace. Once you buy your tickets, they're instantly fulfilled and fully downloadable to your phone on purchase. But you have to use our promo code once you buy. This is only for your first order. All right, so you can't use it every time. So it's your first order. If you never made an order on SeatGeek, use our promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP.
Like JP Moore here says, you don't trade a town favorite clutch everyday major leaguer. I respect the opinion, but none of it for me has to do with being a favorite. Like if it has to do with his play, his clutch hitting, his performance, his deep, whatever the reason is to keep him, if that outweighs trading him, I get it, completely get it. But the fan favorite stuff for me is probably where I would draw the line. I mean, not everyone agrees with that, and maybe the organization doesn't fully agree with that. There's some relevancy to the point. But like, do you keep players, Jim, based on popularity? Is that part of the conversation at all if you're in a front office?
I mean, if they're still helping your team, but if they're just there to just be there, but they're still like a fan favorite, then I'm like, peace out. If you're not helping this team win, then you're gone. Now the thing here is though, Jake's helping the team, so
he's had a good year.
This is a different situation where we're not saying they just, hey, trade Jake Cronenworth because he's not helping the team and the money it's what. No, what we're saying is, look, they're going to have to think outside the box. They're potentially going to have to try to move some money to create room to bring players back in. That's what Kevin Acey told us today. And Kevin mentioned of the scenarios that could do that, one of the players in that scenario would be Jake Cronenworth. And you'd be actually able to get something in return for Jake while also freeing up the necessary money to maybe bring back a Sean Murphy, or if you can't have the White Sox pick up all of Luis Roberts' contract, then that they can use that space to put Luis Roberts, or maybe there's another player out there that we're not talking about that he's looking at to bring in, but it costs you a little bit of money and they don't have that space right now. So they need to free up space. Well, how do they do that? And so that's where this conversation comes from of why they might look at trading Jake Cronenworth. It has nothing to do with the guy's, he sucks and he's not helping the team win. Like, he's good and he's helping the team win. That's why it would be hard to do. But if it would make your team better, then you have to consider it.
He's owed $61.4 million after this year. His salary actually goes up after this year from 11.28 to 12.28 for the remainder of his deal. Consider this as well. He's under contract for 5 more years, age 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36 seasons. So it's not that he's old. He could be productive for the next 2, 3, 4 years even. It's just there's a delicate balance. There's a little bit of a dance going on there. He's going to make a little bit more. He's owed $61 million. Will he be as productive 3 years from today as he is today? Again, it's probably unlikely. It's probably very unlikely for him to move. But do they have to be unconventional? I think is a fair question. Do they have to be willing to potentially the point Kevin made, Jim, that we're kind of beating around, is that he said they may sell to buy. And we both looked at each other like, oh, that's interesting that they may sell while also buying. And that was the first time we had heard it in like those terms from Kevin specifically. We know that happens in baseball, but he said they may sell to buy. He says they don't have the same prospect capital as they used to. They don't have the dollars that they may want or other teams have. So you might have to get creative. And it doesn't mean it's Jake Cronenworth. Maybe there's something else we haven't thought about. Maybe they can move one of these. Maybe they can move Wandy Peralta. I'm making it up. I have no clue what he can do. Maybe he can do something we haven't, referenced or mentioned.
Let me ask you all right now watching. Hypothetical, would this happen? No. But if I told you right now they could get Sean Murphy by just trading away Jake Cronenworth. Jake Cronenworth for Sean Murphy straight up. Are you doing that deal? Majority of you are probably saying yes.
Look at my head.
Yeah. You're doing that deal for a guy you're doing that deal for a catcher with an 830 OPS.
Yep.
And on pace to be around 30 home runs.
That's why it's never about would you trade a player. It's what would you get back.
Y'all are lying in the chat, dude. You all are lying if you wouldn't do that deal.
I think not everyone. I respect the opinion. If you wouldn't, you wouldn't. But I think most people would.
If you take your love for Jake out of the equation and look at strictly what would make your team better. Yeah. You don't find many catchers that hit, have an 830 OPS for as many at bats as that Sean Murphy has. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Atlanta would do that deal, truthfully.
No, I know they wouldn't. That deal is a
attach a player. Attach a player though to Jake?
No, I'm not even
an upside prospect.
I'm not even trying to be serious with it. I'm just saying if you traded away Jake Cronenworth and you got back Sean Murphy.
Yeah.
Like that deal, I'm doing that trade. Like I'm doing that scenario. I'm not saying that call the
Atlanta
Braves and trade. Yeah, I'm not saying, hey, would you take Jake for Sean Murphy? I'm just saying like you remove Jake from the equation and you add Sean Murphy to the equation.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Hendrick, thank you, man, for the super chat. Guys, if you're here, subscribe, and thank you for the super chats, your support of this channel. Click the $ below the chat box. Hendrick says, love Jake, but would not lose sleep if he's moved to try to chase a ring. That's how I feel just about sports in general. I mean, I'm not, you're not getting stupid. Nobody's like, oh, move Manny. I mean, listen, we're not having some ridiculous, oh my gosh, Manny, Merrill, Toddy. We're not, that's utter insanity. Nobody's talking about Xander Bogaerts because you can't move Xander Bogaerts. But I mean, can you consider trading Jake Cronenworth? I don't think that's that's unfair to consider trading Jake Cronenworth. Like, no, that's how the sport works. I think, yeah. Have they ever considered that in their front office? Yeah, they definitely have. And they would field a call on him. I promise you that.
Dara Pot. I hate unrealistic hypotheticals.
We're just doing hypothetical. Hypotheticals mean they're just hypothetical.
You know what the trade deadline's about, Dara Pot?
Hypotheticals.
And some are unrealistic. A lot of trades that we hear on a daily basis are 99% unrealistic, and 100% of them, or close to 100% of them, they're being serious. I wasn't being serious there. I was just
Well, it's
doing
not
a little.
that crazy.
I was just
It's
doing an exercise, like an
the
exercise
exercise isn't that crazy, dude. What
No, I
Murphy
know.
makes, what Cronenworth makes, it depends on needs. Again, yeah, you would attach a player to Cronenworth in that hypothetical, but we're not saying like, hey, would you trade Ohtani for Cronenworth? I mean, like, again, it's trade deadline season, and a lot of stuff's going to pop up. Wait until you read what Jim Bowden's going to write over the next week.
Yeah, a lot of unrealistic hypotheticals. He said he would trade Ethan Salas and Leo DeVries for Sandy Alcantara.
Right.
And he was being serious.
Yeah, and I think there were more players in there than just
like maybe Cash Mayfield or whatever. Yeah. I don't even know.
It was like 4 players. Forgot the 7 ERA.
Yeah. And I see a lot of people in the chat being like, well, trade a rise. And okay. The thing is, you trade a rise, you're going to get like nothing back for him of anything. He's a rental. He's already not having that great of a season for his standards.
Yeah.
And how much money you're freeing up if you lose a rise? Not as much as if you would free up Jake Cronenworth. I can tell you that.
Well, in the long term, you're right.
Long term wise, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, I say if I'm AJ Preller, I'm willing to listen on a lot of things, and it doesn't mean any of this shit is going to happen. It doesn't mean any of this.
100%.
But something may happen, and like I'll be surprised if people are like, man, I can't believe they traded Robert Torres. Like, what do you mean you can't believe it? We talked about it for 6 weeks. Or I can't believe they traded Jake. I mean, what do you mean you can't believe it? What you can't believe is if they traded Xander Bogaerts, because you'd be like shocked that they could pull that off.
Right.
What you can't believe is if they traded, one of these preeminent stars, which isn't going to happen on this team. But you can believe. I'm telling you right now, you could believe a world where Luis Ariz has moved.
You know what I can guarantee is that the conversation that we're having right here, probably a conversation they've had as well.
Yeah, 100%. Guaranteed. The Beef, thank you. He says, package Suarez with some prospects for a good bad. Bobby, Crony, and Salas, others. No, Acuna's not going anywhere. And he already expressed his desire not to end his career in Atlanta. And Atlanta is a very savvy organization. And you think Jake Cronenworth's a fan favorite. It's freaking Luka. You don't trade Acuna in Atlanta. So he goes nowhere. Murphy could move. And this is heard Acuna is upset with Atlanta. I don't see any world where Acuna moves. In fact, I'd still be surprised if Sean Murphy moved, truthfully. But Acuna's not going anywhere.
Dude, I would like, I can't even go to that path because it's not going to even happen.
Yeah, unless I'd need way more, the Beef. I mean, even if he is unhappy, he also said he desires to finish his career in Atlanta. They're a well-run organization. A bad year doesn't mean a bad organization when we're talking about Atlanta.
Another unrealistic hypothetical for Darapot in the chat since she hated it or he hated it. DeVries and Salas for Acuna. Would you do it?
I mean, like, where do you sign up?
Like, hey, what number are you wearing and where are you hitting in the lineup, Acuna? That's the question I'd be asking after that.
I don't know anything about his contract status or what he makes.
Nor do I care.
Yeah, nor do I care. I know what he's capable of, which is like, 70 stolen base seasons and 40 home run seasons and just
elite defense in the outfield.
Energizer bunny. Yeah, just a leader, a winner. So, yeah,
what is
heaven and earth for him, but it's not happening.
So this year,
yeah,
dude, in 106, listen to this. In 164 at bats this year, okay, he's played in only 46 games. He's hitting 329 with 12 home runs, a 1,052 OPS, and 23 RBIs.
Amazing. He's an amazing player.
Just okay.
And the throw he made tonight from the seats. From section 301 to third base, from right field in the corner to throw out a runner at third somehow on a line.
Is that one of the best throws you've ever seen?
It's up there. Incredible throw. He's an incredible player. Irie Fan Geek, thank you, man, for the super. He says, really just hope for one more power bat, AJ, especially if Merrill has a good second half. It could put us over the hump. Reynolds or Duran, LOL, wrap up show for life. We appreciate you. Brian Reynolds, I thought, said he's already ruled out 6 clubs with his no trade clause.
Padres are one of them.
And the Padres were one of them. Plus, he has not had a good year either, nor has No, Durant's had a fine year. I thought he was talking about Robert in there, but yeah, I'm hoping Merrill's second half looks like Merrill's second half from last year, and they need it.
Merrill's numbers in the second half, especially in August and September, he was amazing. He was incredible. Can he do that again? Hope so. That'd be huge. We'll have to see. Is Jackson Merrill just always going to be a second half player in his career? Wouldn't put it past him.
Right.
But yeah, they're going to need a couple guys to have better second halves than they had first halves for sure. Merrill being one of them. Tatis, if he just stays steady, I need to see more power from him, but defensively he's elite. He's going to steal over 30 bags for the first time in his career. Rye's got to pick it up. Xander, just keep doing what you're doing. Be the singles merchant that you are. Just get on base as much as possible and play good defense. But Merrill, and same thing with Gavin Sheets. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't try to do something that out of your comfort zone. But the one guy that would just make things completely different is if Jackson Merrill heated up again.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm expecting a run in Merrill in the second half. I just hope it's an extended run and he can put together, 50 or 60 games. But yeah, I'm expecting him to heat up at some point, hopefully soon in the second half. Guys, we do want to remind you about our partners over at Underdog Fantasy. Best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Make sure to use our promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. You're getting a 50% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a free gimme pick. What does a free gimme pick look like? It looks like higher or lower than a half total point for like Paige Beckers in the WNBA All-Star game, or higher or lower than a half plate appearance for Fernando Tatis Jr. tomorrow in game 2 of the series. They're giving you a pick 'em. You pair it with anything else and you can win. And the more you play, the more you can win. You can win up to 1,000 times your money in a single night. We're talking about turning $10 into 10,000, right? Or $15 into 5,500 or whatever. You can have some crazy, crazy wins. We've had some big wins over the years with Underdog. So click that link in the description down below. Sign up today. Make sure to use the promo code PADSWRAP. Get the 50% deposit match up to $1,000. Get the free gimme pick as well. Click that link in the description down below and use the promo code PADSWRAP.
And if you take this off the screen, John, you can see the QR code above my head right here to download the Underdog Fantasy app. And then once you download it, use our promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Start playing, start winning some money, pick higher or lower on players on 2 different teams. Have some fun. We use our promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. What was Darapot saying in the chat?
I put him in timeout for the beef. Like, don't be critical of our viewers that are supporting the show and asking questions and supporting with. I can't believe you wasted money to ask that. Hey, Darapot, unless you're AJ Preller and this is your burner and you know what AJ Preller is going to do, you have no more clue than the beef, than Jim, than John, than JP, than anyone else here. You're entitled to your opinion. So is everyone else. Don't pretend like you've ever been a GM in Major League Baseball. You haven't. So you have no more clue than anyone else. So don't pretend like you have more of a clue. So you're in timeout. Go sit in the corner. Go cool down.
Well, they hate unrealistic hypotheticals, but
I know. It was your hypothetical. You mentioned Sean Murphy and he lost his mind.
Okay.
All right, let's do this again Sunday night, right? We've been doing this for an hour and 5 minutes. So let's do it again Sunday night. We'll wrap up this series against the Nationals. Look ahead to Miami. We'll be 2 days closer to the trade deadline, which is now just 12 or 13 days away. It's coming. It'll be here before we know it. And man, that speculation, those rumors, that's gonna be heating up, Darapot, over the next 10 days or so. So be here for that. That's what the wrap-up show provides for you. In season, out of season, year round, after games, before games. If something happens, you're going to get it here first on the wrap-up show. If you have not subscribed, please do that. Year-round Padres content for you. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. If you're here on replay, thank you for the super thanks. And support our partners, Humul Casino, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, our title sponsor. Our friends over at SeatGeek, use that promo code PODSWRAP. Our friends at Underdog, make sure to use that promo code PODSWRAP as well. We'll catch up Sunday night, 9:30 Pacific, as the Padres take game 1 in D.C. Everyone enjoy the weekend. And for Jim, I'm John. And this has been the wrap-up show. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Peace.